Welcome custom card fans, my name is Aurora and I'm here to bring you EXU's Banlist update. Around the same time the TCG releases its banlist, we, as a TCG custom card server, update our custom banlist as well. Using our banlist, we aim to make sure that the power level of EXU stays relatively consistent, to keep competitive and casual play interesting, and to avoid potential tier 0 formats. This being my first banlist as part of staff, the process of democracy is, well, messy. A lot of people had differing opinions and a lot of cards absolutely split the room. In the end, however, we were able to come to an agreement on a final list, and in the words of plenty of people on the server, it is pretty based. This is the May 18th EXU Banlist update. We should start by addressing the cards recently altered in their status on the TCG banlist that will not be changing on the EXU list. Still forbidden from competitive play are Change of Heart and Crystron Halka Fibrax. While Halka Fibrax was a no-brainer for many, as it has been forbidden on our list for quite some time, Change of Heart was a contentious one. In the end, it was decided that the card is still very strong, and we would not be comfortable with it entering our format. Still limited to one copy is Trickstar Lightstage, as Trickstar is still a very good engine that can be played in a variety of decks, and increasing its consistency is not something we want at this time. Fire Formation Tenki remains unlimited, as Tri-Brigade is curbed by other hits to their power and consistency in the banned Revolt and Fractal and the limited Keras. Pot of Desires will be remaining at 3, which it also did through the last list where the TCG put it to 1. Red Rose Dragon will be remaining unlimited, as its power level at EXU is not nearly as high as it was in the TCG Kitchen Sink lists, due to the restrictions on the Adventure engine. Shooting Riser Dragon will be remaining at 3 because, well, we don't really know why it was limited in the TCG in the first place. Lastly, the cards that the EXU has had unlimited for some time that will be retaining their positions are Yatagarasu, Time Seal, and Wall of Revealing Light, as these cards have already had little to no impact on the metagame as a whole. With all of that out the way, let's talk about the new cards appearing on the list. Let's start with the Forbidden section. While Predaplant Verte Anaconda, Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, and Prank Kids Meow Meow Moo were already banned, 4 new cards have been moved to 0, and they're quite exciting hits that will surely shake up the metagame. First up is Anti-Spell Fragrance, moving from Limited to Forbidden. With Imperial Order gone, Anti-Spell Fragrance really took up the mantle of Anti-Spell Floodgate, however also holding the distinction of completely halting pendulums. In order to promote enjoyable play, and in a subversive effort to remove every floodgate from the game, Anti-Spell is now forbidden for the foreseeable future. Next up is Heatwave, going from Unlimited to Forbidden. A card like Heatwave was just waiting for a deck to come along that could properly break into the folds of meta play and abuse its game-winning power. Mortal Engine was just that deck, and ever since this card started seeing serious usage in that strategy, people have been calling for its ban. After this is Lyrilusk Independent Nightingale, also going from 3 to 0. This card has been banned in order to free another card from the list, though we'll talk about that later. Finally, White Dragon Wifer Burster has been banned, taking the place of the newly unlimited Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. It's pretty much a tradition at this point that these two swap places every ban list, and this season is no exception. Now, let's take a look at the limits. 13 cards have been moved onto the limited list in some way or another. First, we have Astrograph Sorcerer, moving from Forbidden to Limited. This mirrors its movement in the last TCG list, and we hope that with the release of Beyond the Pendulum in Dimension Force, Pendulum as a strategy might see more competitive success. In addition to Astrograph's limit, the EXU list has followed TCG's lead in putting Performable Monkey Board to 1. This card is a 1-card scale that can now be easily searched through the use of Beyond the Pendulum, and we're all interested in seeing what impact a Pendulum Pile can make on the EXU metagame. Should it prove too troublesome, we're always prepared to make emergency bans to cards that are creating unhealthy formats. Lunalight Tiger moves from Forbidden to Limited as well, further reducing the number of Pendulum monsters currently forbidden on the EXU list. We're not particularly worried about Lunalight's potential impact on the metagame, and as such we think that moving it to 1 is fine. Next are a pair of cards that have remained on the list for what some people believe to be way too long. Madolche Queen Tiramisu and Madolche Promenade rejoin the format at 1 copy apiece. Originally banned in formats long since past, we no longer believe that Madolche will have a substantial impact on the greater metagame, especially not with one Tiramisu and one Promenade. Danger Nessie has been moved from semi-limited to limited, in an attempt to remove more cards currently on the semi-limited list that just don't need to be there. Unfortunately, this means that potentially more problematic cards, like Nessie, move to 1 instead of to 3. Another card that has followed this pattern is Emergency Teleport, moving from 2 to 1 this list as well. The pool of available level 3 or lower psychic monsters that you can summon from the deck continually grows, making this a better extender every day. Cyber Angel Ben 10 will be moving from Forbidden to Limited, as with all 3 of Herald of Ultimateness, Herald of Perfection, and Diviner of the Herald banned, there seems to be no reason to keep this card as constrained as it is on the ban list. Hopefully, this will provide Drytron and other decks that can make use of the card a boost in power level, so that they can see metagame contention. A big change is taking place for DDD, a previous best deck of the format, as DDD Divisor King DS Machinex moves from Forbidden to Limited. In return for this unban, however, Dark Contract with the Gate is being moved to Limited from Unlimited. Hopefully, this will allow DDD to see meta play, as they now have their boss monster, albeit in an admittedly neutered form. Removing 2 copies of Gate should allow Machinex to come back to the format in a non-oppressive manner. In preparation for its impact on EXU in terms of both Earth Machine decks and Therion decks, Therion King Regulix has been moved from Unlimited to Limited. With the limiting of a new boss monster comes the unbanning of an old, as Tri-Brigade Shureg the Ominous Omen moves from Forbidden to Limited. This will hopefully give a power boost to Tri-Brigade decks, which would otherwise be completely useless due to a lack of Fractal and Revolt. Finally, the last card limited on the list is Phantom Fortress Enter Blathnir, moving there from Unlimited. This is the card that warps the way that creators make cards, as it is relatively low investment for decks that focus on rank 9 monsters, and summoning 3 is by no means healthy for a format. By limiting this card, we hope to promote more creativity in custom card creation. And that's it for the limited list, which brings us on to the Unlimits. No cards this list have been placed on the semi-limited list, and for good reason. The list has little reason to exist. In fact, only 2 cards now reside there, Danger Tsuchinoko and Destiny Hero Malicious. The others have either been limited, Nessie and Teleport, or unlimited, those being 2 cards in total. Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter, is now unlimited. Due to the lack of consistent access to Dragonic Diagram, and no access whatsoever to Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King, Dynamite Knight is not considered to be a problem card. A Hero Lives also moved to 3 this list, hopefully giving a boost to hero decks that want to make an impact on the format. Atlantean Dragoons goes to 3 this list, previously being limited. This card is no longer considered to be as powerful as perhaps it once was, nor are water decks at the forefront of the EXU metagame. Dark Infant Atignista has also moved from limited to unlimited. While we expect Atignista to do quite well competitively, due to strong support that Cyburst decks have received on the server, we do not feel that Infant should remain banned, as it just isn't strong enough. Jet Synchron moves to unlimited from where it was limited, which may boost the consistency of Synchron decks and Synchro strategies in general. Numeron Calling has been moved from forbidden to unlimited, as we no longer consider Numeron a problem strategy. Salamangrate Mirage Stalio has been moved to 3 after being forbidden as well, to boost the consistency and power level of Salamangrate decks. Though with Gazelle still limited, it is unclear as to whether the deck is strong enough to make a significant impact on the meta. With Salamangrate Circle remaining at 3, it's possible that the deck could make a splash. Scapegoat has been moved to unlimited from limited, as the card is by far too slow now to make a sizable difference on a game-to-game basis, as its restriction on summoning blocks any sort of turn 1 plays involving it. In the wake of Independent Nightingale being forbidden, the Tyrant Neptune can finally return from being limited to unlimited. This card is utter garbage, and if it wasn't for Nightingale being unlimited for so long, this card would not have stayed on the ban list. Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier is now at 3 copies, which quite honestly will likely do nothing in the greater scheme of the metagame. Just about the only deck that can consistently make 3 copies in a turn would be Synchron, a deck that already has an incredibly formidable endboard and that loses to the exact same disruptions whether it is playing a Trishula variant or not. Virtual World City Kowloon has been moved from limited to unlimited as well, as with Lulu still limited, the deck is not powerful enough to warrant keeping this card on the list any longer. Finally, with its errata confirmed by Konami, Night Assailant will be moved off the ban list with its post-errata text. That's this format's ban list update. Please be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, tell us what you thought down in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more content. Remember to turn on the notification bell as well, so you won't miss a single upload. There is a link down in the description to join our Discord server, where you too can enjoy the vast array of cards we have to offer, play competitively or casually, and chat with other custom card creators around the world. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.